everybody, welcome back to Pixie Woo. I have had loads of people ask us to do the Adele front cover from the English Vogue. So, you know how much I love Adele and I couldn't refuse. So that's what I'm going to do today. Hope you enjoy. I've already moisturised my skin with my Oilatum. So I'm then going to go in with Illamasqua Skin Base Foundation. I think you all know how much I'm loving this foundation at the moment. I've really struggled with dryness from pregnancy around my chin area, and this foundation seems to sit really nicely on it, or as nicely as a foundation possibly could. I'm then going to go in with a little bit of Clinique Line Smoothing Concealer. This one is in 03. A little bit extra on my chin area, and a Samantha Chapman Dome shadow brush. I'm going to come back and powder that right at the end. I'm just going to use a little bit of Chanel Bronze Universal or Soleil de Tan, just to give my skin a little bit of colour. I'm going to use my foundation brush underneath to keep that contour line a little bit sharper. Next I'm going to move on to the eyes, and I'm going to use Brule as a base, just with a MAC 217. A little bit underneath the eye as well. That's just going to give the eyeshadow something to cling to so they can move a little bit easier. Underneath as well. I'm then going to take a little bit of vanilla, which is this product here, this colour, and I am going to run that through this little bit here, just to highlight slightly, so right in there and up through the brow bone. I'm also going to take it a little bit just here. All with the same brush. So it's just highlighting the eyes, bringing out where we want it to lift, and the darkness will pull back where we want it to go back into the eyes. Okay, next I'm going to take a little bit of Wedge and a little bit of Patina. And that is just with the same brush again, just pushed through the socket bone. If you can't find your socket bone, lean back and you should be able to see it. It's basically, you'll feel the wedge there, and you just push your brush in and blend, and the brush does the work for you. And I'm keeping it exactly on that bone. I'm not going too far in, and it's slightly winged out. If you want, get yourself a clean 217, because I don't want to go too deep in here, and just work the product and it will blend for you. I absolutely love these colours, they're my favourite. And they're colours that are used a lot. You've probably seen a lot of videos we use these colours because they are used so often. Because they're flattering. I just want to run the tiniest bit of warmth just through the socket as well. And I've got Samoa Silk. So still using the same brush, I'm just going to run this just over the socket bone as well. Back to the Patina and Wedge, but this time with a 239 brush. Both mixed together, they're going to go right the way along. Under the eye. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of carbon and a MAC 266 or a 263. And just push that over the eye. To create a flick. The reason that I've chosen an eyeshadow to do this is because on the picture the eyeliner is solid, but it's also looks more like an eyeshadow than a liner. I'm going to go over it with a liner as well, but keep the softness that the shadow gives. Right, my camera just stopped recording, so I'm hoping that it got the last bit, but I'm doing black liner on top. I'm going to go over it with a gel liner to make it slightly stand out a little bit more, but I wanted the softness from a powder. And then I'm doing it underneath the eye as well with carbon and a 263. So really close to the lash line underneath the eye. I'm then going to get my 263 again with the same colours, Patina and Wedge, and just use them to blend the black line a little bit softer. So just to soften that line underneath. I'm also going to take my 239 and just run that on top to make that a little bit more seamless. Just to make it a tiny bit softer. Next, I have got my Clinique black gel liner, and I'm going to use a MAC 209 this time, and then just define that line. And you can see how the eyeshadow that I've already on just makes it that little bit softer, which is what I wanted. Next I've got Avon Super Shock Liner, which I'm going to take right inside the eye. Back to my palette with my Patina and my Brule. I've got an eyeshadow in there called Charcoal Brown, which is that one there. And I'm going to just run that through the socket bone a little bit as well. And I'm going to use a Louise Young brush to do that. Just want a tiny bit more definition through there. A bit deeper. That's better. Through the brows, I'm also going to use the Charcoal Brown. And with a clean 266 brush. Adele's hair and brows are obviously redder than mine, but I've done it to match my hair colour. I've got Clinique High Impact Curling Mascara. I'm going to use Sleep Makeup Luminous Pressed Powder just to powder over the skin. Matte that out a little bit. I've then also got a Sleek Contour Palette. I know there's a lot of products, but this is an editorial look, so it would have quite a lot. On the lips, I've got Stripdown Pencil from MAC. And I'm going to use Shygirl Cream Sheen over the top. How cute is my little brother? He just sent me a message saying I love you. That's John. He's just so cute. Worries about me because not long left of pregnancy. And there you have the finished Adele Vogue cover look. Hope you've enjoyed that and have a lovely day, people. Bye bye.